today we're going to be doing a really fun project. So we're going to be doing a sign and ribbon set from RCL, Signs and More. So this is the sign. Okay, this is the focal ribbon. Then we have a purple, a blue, and a yellow and white. We're going to be using a blue mesh and a purple and white mesh. So we're actually going to be doing a poof with a woodland ruffle. So I'm going to do this as the poof. So I'm going to load this up on the top. This is tinsel mesh. It's really pretty. So this is going to look really pretty up against that purple and white. So we're going to cut this one. This one will stay as it is because that's going to be our poof. So I want to do one in every single tie, which means we need to cut 18 pieces, so we need to cut them at 20 inches. So we have all the pieces cut, we're going to get started. First, I'm going to open up the ties on the bottom of this. I like to start on the bottom. You can start on the top and go to the bottom, or you can do like me and start on the bottom. I find it a little bit easier to go up. So I'm just going to pull my mesh out, and I'm going to gather it at the end, just like that. I'm going to put it right before a tie, and I'm going to put a zip tie and tie it on with that. I like to do this because then when you come around and you finish, you cannot tell where you started and where you stopped. I can trim off the excess, and then I'm going to, I want between 8 and 10 inch poofs, so I'm going to go from here to here and come back. These ties are approximately 4 to 5 inches apart, so that's why I'm using that to measure. Then I can get pretty consistent poofs, and it's a much faster way for me to do it. You want to make sure you have your two rough edges tucked underneath. And just tie it on one good time. Spread it out. And then again. There you go. I just keep doing this all the way around. So we've gotten back around to where we started. So you can see I didn't use that tie the first time I used a zip tie. Now I'm going to use the tie, and then it covers where we started. So you can see you can't tell where we started and where we ended. Now I'm going to open up the ties on the top. So I like to go as close as I can to a tie. And once again, I'm going to use another zip tie. This is also going to be the start of where the first poof is. So I like to do this because then I don't have an odd poof in between my two layers, and I don't have to cut and start over. Okay, so we'll skip the first tie. We're going to do the exact same thing we did on the bottom. Use the ties as the measurement. If you're doing this on a handmade wreath frame, like from the Dollar Tree, then you would just do the same thing. You would put it in the ties approximately 4 inches apart. Okay. So we're back around. I'm just going to do the same thing. Just get that tie measurement and then put right where we came up and started it. There we go. Now I can trim this off. And I can kind of tuck it underneath. And I will grab this and just zip tie it down. That way it just won't stick out. Makes everything look nice and neat. trim off the excess. So you will have a little bit of mesh left over. So what I like to do is take this leftover mesh and I'm going to make 8-inch pieces. What we'll do is we'll make curls with this and then put them on top of the woodland ruffle. So that way we can bring this color back to the top. Okay, I was able to get 18 pieces, so that's perfect because we have 18 ties. The next thing I need to do is get our ribbons ready because we will put all of the pieces in together as little bundles. I'm going to put the yellow and white with the focal ribbon. And we're going to do 12-inch pieces. And we need to do 9. I'll reserve the rest of the ribbon for a bow. I like to go ahead and dovetail them all together. You just fold it over and cut up towards the wire. Gives it this nice little dovetail. As you can see, I like to do my ribbons together. It saves a lot of time if you just cut them together. So we're going to start with our woodland ruffle. All you need to do is a good couple of curls on both sides. And then you just meet it together in the middle. Grab one of your curls, put that on top, and then your ribbons. So you just pinch the ribbon right in the middle. Get a little bit of movement under it by running your hands under it. And then we put all of these together in the wreath. And then we spread out our little woodland ruffle there. I like to pull the curl up so you can see it, just like that. And I'll just take my tie and just kind of fold it in on itself. Okay, just like that. See how cute that is? Okay, so let's do it again. If you're using a clip, you're just going to do a couple curls, put your clip on, flip it around, do a couple curls again, go straight up, grab your extra curl and your ribbon. Okay, fold it in half, pinch in the middle, on top it goes. Then we just tie it down with our wreath ties. And I'll just spread it out. Get my ribbons up. Just like that. Okay. All right, so one more time, and then I'm just going to put it on the entire wreath. This time we're going to use the Deco Mesh Ruffle tool. So I'll go ahead and do a couple little curls, put it in the tool. Okay, and then I'm going to stop and do the curls on the other side. push it all down flat like that. And then it can hold it while I get my other pieces together. So there and here. Just like that. There it goes. There we go. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of the wreath, and then I'll come back and we'll do the side and the bow. One thing that I do differently on the top is that I spread my ribbons out so that you can see the whole ribbon. I like to put the larger ribbon going in this direction just because there's more room. But that's the only thing I do that's different that's on the top. Okay, so this is with all of the mesh and the ribbons on. Oh, how pretty is that? So now we're going to add our sign. So this is a 10-inch sign. We're just going to use our metal hole punch and just punch a hole in both sides. Now I like to use 26 gauge wire. It just hides easier. It is a thinner wire, but you don't need a lot. I cut about 20 inches, 2 pieces. I want to make sure I have more than I need. It's easy to trim off what you don't need. It's very hard to add more. So I just take this wire, I put it right through the holes we made, match them up at the top so that I've doubled it up, and just twist at the top so that the wires won't come out. Just a little protection to make sure my sign's not going to come off. Okay, so twist again. I'm going to put it right in the center, just kind of right on top of the little bit of poofs that are there. I'm going to take a weaving needle. These are plastic. These are wonderful tools. I'm going to put the wire in it just like I'm going to sew on something. I just kind of fold it over. And the great thing is you can push it right down, right through the mesh. It's not going to hurt the mesh. Mesh already has lots of holes in it. And then it makes it super easy to get down to the frame where you need to tie it on. So I just twist it around a few times, trim it off, and then do the other side. It's that simple. Oh, how pretty is that? That is pretty. Wonderful. Love it. Okay. Now we're just going to make a bow to match. I like to make spider bows to go with these. You can either have the bow on your wreath or you can have it around somewhere else as a matching accent. We like to put bows on our rocking chair outside and also on our stairway going up, so it'll match the wreath of whatever's on our door. So you want small tails, about 6 or 7 inches. I am coming down sideways and twisting on one side. So the side that has the loop is where I'm going to twist. So sideways, then twist on this side, since that's where the loop is going to be. Again. Here's the third time. Right there. Trim off. Now these are going to go out to the side. That's why I call it the spider, because these are the legs. You can also take this extra piece and add it back in. Now, the trick to this bow is you're going to switch the tails to the other side. So I'll just pick up my bow maker and flip it. It makes it a little bit easier to remember. Then I just get in the habit of doing that. I like to cut these at an angle, the smaller ribbons. Okay, before I go on, I'm going to add in an extra tail of the pink and the blue. Just so we have a little bit more roundness to our bow. There's no need to twist this because it's just tails. All right, then I'm going to add on the yellow. And see, if I hadn't known to just switch my bow, I might have gotten confused and gone back to that side. So, it really does help if you flip your bow maker. Okay, so see, I'm still doing the same thing. We're going out to 6 each time. Going down, twisting on the loop side. There we go. That off. There. Let's put this one in. Whoops. Flip our bow maker. I like to end with the focal ribbon. So this ribbon ties all these in together. That's why it's the focal ribbon. Okay. I won't do an extra tail of this one, but you can if you would like. Okay, then I'm going to take a zip tie, and I'm just going to slide it underneath the bottom. I want to make sure I get all of the loops and the ribbon in there. I'll pull it out, and then it makes it easier for me to see. You can see where the indentation from the bow maker was. So I'm going to lightly hold one side and run that around and make sure that that zip tie is in that indentation. Then I'll put a pipe cleaner in the back and tighten it really well. The first thing I want to do is make sure all my tails are off to the side. So I like to do that first. Makes it easier when you're fluffing this bow if you have your tails already in place. There we go. All right, we'll do the other side. There. Now we will fluff the bow, the loops. You want to twist it back and forth. If you have your zip tie in there nice and tight, it's not going to come out. And what this does is this allows you to get these little pinched places out, because that's what's going to make your bow fluff much better. Okay. Because that will hamper that loop's ability to fluff out fully if it is stuck down in there. So you want to make sure it's not. Twisting it back and forth loosens it so that it's easier for you to pull those little pieces out. Okay, now we'll do the top. You can see I am pretty aggressive with my ribbon, and if you have used a zip tie, then it's quite easy to do. If you have trouble with making things tight, you can get the zip tie gun, and this will tighten it and trim the zip tie for you. All right. Alright, so if we're going to put it on the wreath, we could just put it right here. Oh, how pretty. That could be the top or the bottom or the side. And here we are. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.